It is a clear hypocrisy and double standard. And I want to take this opportunity, Mr. President, to say to the chairman of the UDC and the HAJ that he must resign immediately, just like what
Bless up, my people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And in this one, my people, we've seen Senator Floyd Morris stood in the House of the Senate yesterday, my people. And he lent his words towards the whole, threat against the Integrity Commission. And my people is even calling for the chairman of UDC and HAJ, Norman Brown, who happens to be intertwined in all of this IC report of building breach. And just like how they had Mark Barnett resign following similar surroundings, he's calling for the resignation of Norman Brown, as well as my people, Senator Lambert Brown and Kevin Gale speaking on the recent protests amongst tourism workers. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Notification shout out goes to Elaine Wallace. Big up yourself, Elaine. Thanks for the continued support. Kicking off the first segment with Senator Floyd Morris.
all of us are being labeled and tarnished. And it has intensified in recent times because of the attacks that have been levied on the Integrity Commission of Jamaica. And I want to disassociate myself with any such attacks or statements on the part of the Integrity Commission, because the Integrity Commission is an institution that was established to protect the public resources and to ensure that we don't end up into what we would regard as a kleptocracy. And I've been talking to people across the country, and based on what they are describing to me, and they say to me as a parliamentarian, the public perception is that we are operating a kleptocracy. And, Mr. President, I don't feel comfortable with it. And it's worse because of how we are treating an institution, the Integrity Commission, that was established to make sure that there is integrity in public life. And, Mr. President, as I read the report, my memory dates back to, I think it was 2022 or somewhere thereabout. In another development in our pastures that involved the then president of the National Water Commission, Mr. Mark Barnett, and the communities Charlie Mount in our pastures. And a similar situation existed where more rooms were built than that which was approved. And it's a similar situation here. And I want to say, Mr. President, that Mr. Barnett was required to resign from his job. And this report about Estate Bridge has been tabled in the Parliament from Tuesday of this week. And I want to say, up to this point, I have not heard anybody talking about or calling for the resignation of the chairman of UDC and HAJ, which is involved in this breach. And it is a clear hypocrisy and double standard. And I want to take this opportunity, Mr. President, to say to the chairman of the UDC and the HAJ that he must resign immediately, just like what was required by Mark Barnett, the president of the National Water Commission.
And like I've always been saying, I'm not only calling for the resignation of one or two of them who are said to be in the courts and under some form of investigation found to be in breach. All of them must step aside. All of them must resign. And my people, we are wait to hear what will become of the newly elected Southern MP of Trelawney. We are wait that one, them people. Moving right along, we're seeing where Senator Lambert, coming in support of the hotel workers who are, being treated unfairly. A whole heap of injustice meted out to them. And so he put out a notice of motions that was given orally. And it says, Mr. President, I beg to give notice at the next meeting of the Senate. I will move. Whereas in recent times, hundreds of Jamaica hotel workers have taken industrial action in protest against low wages and terms of conditions at work. And whereas one such term of employment highlighted by such strikes is the precarious repeated fixed term contracts of employment. And whereas such practice can be abusive and oppress workers not only in the tourism sector, but throughout other sections of our economy. And whereas our Labor Relations and Industrial Relations Act, promulgated in 1975, provides that an industrial dispute can be over the engagement or non-engagement of a worker, which brings the egregious abuse of contract work device into conflict with spirit and intent of Jamaica's labor laws. And whereas the egregious abuse of the contract work device is at variance with the decent work of agenda of International Labour Organization, and whereas different members of this Senate have from time called for action to arrest the spread of this colorable abuse of the contract work device, which undermines the establishment of good industrial relations practices. But it resolves that this Senate expresses its abhorrence to the abuse of fixed term contracts by some employers in Jamaica. And be it further resolved that the Senate calls on the government to immediately review the relevant laws with the aim of protecting Jamaican workers from such oppressive contracts. And be it further resolved that the Senate appoints a select committee to consider and recommend possible legislative approaches to eliminate the abuse of contract work device as a means of denying workers the full range of employment related rights and job security to which they should be legally entitled and with respect to which they need and deserve effective legal protection. Now, after all this time, people, we've finally seen Senator Kevon Gale finding his voice. And after Lambert stated all of that in his oral motion, my people, Kevon Gale says, Government Senator and President of Bustamante Industrial Trade Union is insisting that the recent wave of industrial action in hotels would have been easily avoided if tourism workers were afforded collective bargaining rights. Senator Gale pointed out that the matter of contract work abuse was raised in Parliament several times, including in January and December of 2022, and if heeded would have prevented the current crisis. He quoted, I am renewing my call for urgent legislative action. Recent consultation with the workers, including those involved in the recent protests, have highlighted the serious concern workers face due to the pervasive use of short term contracts in this particular sector. And it is clear that these employment practices are depriving workers of stability that they need to make long-term plans for themselves and their families. The nature of these contracts, often renewed on a seasonal or short-term basis, creates, in my mind, a volatile and uncertain environment for workers, he contended.
So this is Royal the Cameron on strike, asking for better pay.
So, when you see it, my people, all of a sudden, everybody finding a voice when they hear other people taking a stance. Anyhow, my people, following all this information, what says Uno? Drop Uno 2 cents in the comment section and let me hear what Uno say. But people, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 30K and beyond. Continue to support the movement. Continue to like and share out the videos. Get this video to at least 3,000 likes. But people, remember to join the membership so you can get membership benefits. Only a small fee per month. And you can check out the stores on the videos. And if it's laid on your heart, you can feel free to purchase. It goes in support of the channel. Big up to all those who are donating to the channel. Stay safe over the Christmas season. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Happy Vlogmas Day 14. Big up on yourself.